We're going to talk a little bit about the tasks that you can run for Dell hardware in Dell Management Console. This is a job and task web part that's on the main portal page. We'll just pull up a result from a discovery task here to take a look at that screen, total devices processed, and the time that the task ran, and so forth. Now we're going to run to the task and job portal page, which is where you'll mainly go to create new tasks and to run tasks. At the right-hand side here, there's the job and task status web part we just looked at. Is also on this portal page, as well as the task agent details with the systems, as well as the quick start in the top. So we'll create a new Dell task here. You see the list of different BMC tasks, firmware tasks, command line builder tasks, power tasks. These are all relevant for Dell hardware. Command line builder is one you may use quite a bit to run server administrator tasks. So we use the drop down here to pick the remote server administrator option, and you can see you have OHM report or OHM config. And as you go through here and add these different options, it helps guide you through the different basically usage clause that's available for OHM report. And we're going to just do a OHM report system summary here. So we click add with each option we pick. We'll look at the authentication screen here, and log file you can output to a log file on the local disk. So we'll just go to our C drive. Create a file there to append and add any errors. The SSH is if you're running this task against a Linux server, which you'll need to go to this screen. And at the top, finally, you can create your own name for this task. And click OK. Alright, the task gets added to the left pane there, and when we click on it, it's in the edit view here, and you can click the quick run button if you just want to select a single server to run this task against, and we'll do that. And so that's off and running. There's also a pretty elaborate scheduling screen that you can pick to schedule the task to run at some point in the future, or if you want to do something a little more involved, you can pick a recurring schedule. That's in the shared schedule, and that gives you a lot of flexibility in adding scheduling windows or having it run say for the first week of a month, for example. So we'll show an example of that. Repeat every day, week or month, week 1 of the month, for example, Thursday. Just showing you that user interface there. That gives you a lot of flexibility in when you want this task to run. And here's where you do the targeting for the computers. If you don't want to do a quick run, you can pick a group of servers that you want to run it against. And here we'll select individually some different servers. We'll just pick 4 servers here. Alright. And that's how you'd schedule it. And we'll just go ahead and kick this off now for the purposes of this exercise. There's an override maintenance windows checkbox too you should be aware of in case your servers have a maintenance window that's blocking out tasks from running during that time. And that's off and running. If we look back at the task we originally created, that task failed, and we can pull up the reason, and we'll look at that details as to why that task didn't run. And you can see in this case it just indicates that OMSA wasn't installed on that server. We went through that pretty quick, but that's what that message was, that OMSA wasn't installed on that server. Now we're refreshing here, set the auto refresh to update for us, and we'll go through there and look at the results of those tasks. You can see on the status bar some of those have passed and some did not, so we'll pull up the details. In that case, one of the tasks failed and 3 passed, and we'll look at the failure, the system that failed here. In this case, same thing, server administrator executable not found. That just means OMSA wasn't installed on that box. And for the ones that passed, this is the results of the OM report system summary, which is just a text output for details on your server, and they show up here in this screen here. Same thing for this other one that passed, different server. Completed, total runtime 1 minute, and there's the details. And we'll close that out. And we'll look at the log file. If you remember, we set up the logged output to the C drive, and any errors that show up you can view in here, as well as the output that we sent for those tasks were also directed to this log file. You can see the host names there at the top. We'll exit from there. There's some other Dell specific tasks. We'll take a quick look at the user interface for those. And in this case, it's to update the CMC or management controller firmware. And basically what you do there is just point to the firmware file, and also as well as updating the integrated KVM. So you can see the checkboxes for that, and you essentially just browse to the firmware file. We'll just pick any file here, for example, just to populate that browse window. And then the rest of the scheduling is similar to the previous one, so that's pretty straightforward. Associate Dell devices is a special task we'll detail in our user guide, but the short story is if you discover your systems using Active Directory, then in that case you may want to run a task, this Associate Dell devices, which after you do your Active Directory discovery and they're set up in your groups, your organizational view, you can pick that group, run this task against it, and it'll categorize those servers as Dell computers. So then from there you're able to get inventory. If they're not categorized as Dell computers, then you won't get Dell inventory. So that's why this task is important. And finally, here's a power control task that uses server administrator. If you have OMSA on the box, you can use this power control task to do those power operations, such as power off or reboot.